This goes out to my Game of Thrones fans, all five of you. But, we're all in this together. My neighbor, he was like, yo, you watch Game of Thrones? I'm like, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to break this down. Here's my theory. And, you guys tell me what you think about it. And try not to be long-winded, but this is Game of Thrones, so. All right. So I was thinking about this while I was washing my car today. The Night King is not dead. As a matter of fact, the Night King is not a real White Walker. Now, let me break this down why. The White Walkers that we know of were made from one person, the Night King, who had a shard of dragonglass stuck into him. This is what he looked like before. Turned his eyes blue and killed him. But magic of the dragonglass kept him alive, or turned him into something else. So now, being that he was the so-called first of his kind, he was able to turn anyone dead and anyone killed by his army into living dead people. However, they were brainless, because you can see when the ice broke, they just ran into the water. They're brainless, right? So they all are sentient, pretty much what it is. However, Craster's keep was in the north. Pretty much not in the land of always winter, though. But it was in the far north because Craster was a wildling. We all know Craster would take his baby boys and give his baby boys to the generals of the Night King. These guys here. Now, these guys here were turned by the Night King. All right? And when they were turned by the Night King, they were not killed. They were just turned. These guys right here. So they were turned kind of the same way as the Night King was turned. He was not necessarily slain by the children of the forest. He was imbued with magic that killed his regular body and turned him into something else. Turned him into the so-called Night King, or the king of just the ones that we saw. Now. Let's get into it. So when he was turned, he in turn went to Craster, made a deal with Craster, and Craster was like, you can have my sons of my daughters. I know it's weird, but this is Game of Thrones. So he would raise daughters, have kids by them, and then he would give those kids to the Night King or his generals, and then those kids in turn would turn into generals. They were not slain. They were just turned. And because of that, they could turn other dead people. Remember when Jon went and they killed one of these guys? What happened? The ones that he had killed also died. So they knew if we could just kill the Night King, then we can get rid of anyone who him and his generals, like a pyramid, have killed. Correct? Okay. So, you guys follow me, right? All right. So, when the Night King and his crew were coming for what is so called the Long Night. When they were coming for the Long Night, listen, that wasn't the Long Night. When they were coming for the Battle of Winterfell, that was just the Battle of Winterfell. That was just something in between him and Bran, and I don't even think it was in between Bran. Okay, so let me say this. Bran was very nonchalant when the Night King was coming for him. He's like, he wants to wipe out all memories. And Bran holds all memories. He's like, he wants to, take out the three-eyed raven, knock out all memories. So he's going to come for me. Bran was connected to him. Okay, fine. So they set it up. The Night King kills all kind of people. The whole war is going on, and then we all saw it. Then when it comes to Bran, he's going to go kill Bran. Arya kills him, right? Yada, yada, yada. Bran is not excited. He barely does anything. As a matter of fact, Bran is the most boring character, and I would rather watch Pod than watch Bran. Bran has all this meaning behind what he is, but yet he's done pretty much nothing. He wanted to see where the Night King was, so he turned into the crows, and then he went and looked at the crows, or looked through the crow's eyes, and he saw the Night King, yada, yada, yada. Listen, I don't think that Bran really cared about the Night King. I think that the Night King was just a pawn. As a matter of fact, I'm sure the Night King is a pawn. The Night King's agenda was not the same as the others. This is why. The Night King was, being that he was imbued with magic and he was turned because he was one of the first men. He was one of the first men that the Children of the Forest were fighting against. So what they wanted to do was take one of their own, turn him, and make an amalgamation, a copycat, something that is similar to, but not exactly, of the others. The Night King is not a other. The Night King was a human. He was a first. He was one of the first men. What the Children of the Forest did, they tried to create the species that was already created, and they failed. This is why they didn't have control of him, because he was already a human being. He already had his own ways of doing things, and he was angry at other human beings and at other animals, because they killed animals too. The bear, you've seen all kind of. So what I'm saying is, the Night King was just a pawn. He was not a part of the others. He had his own agenda apart from the others. Now, we know that the others are different from the Night King. How do we know this? Because Brandon Stark, not the one who built the wall and built the crypts of Winterfell, we're talking about the Stark who was king at the Night Fort. The Night Fort king, what he did was he made a deal with the others, made a deal with them, and he married a other, one of these. And this woman, when you say married, of course you mean there's some type of covenant between them. How can there be a covenant between them? How can that covenant be satiated? How can that covenant be like, did they, go ahead and just, Tyrion and Sansa, they never had sex. Did the White Walker woman or the other woman and Brandon from the Night Fort, did they have sex? Could they have sex? I think the answer is yes. Because they started sacrificing to her. They started sacrificing, and they turned the Knight's brothers, and they went and turned them but they didn't turn them into White Walkers. What they did was they just sacrificed to them, and of course they killed and all that other stuff, but they never said that those men turned into White Walkers. She was not the same as the Night King. She is a race. She's a race in herself. What the Night King is an amalgamation of this race. Okay, when you look at it deeper, you go, the others live in a land of always winter. This is why the battle for Winterfell was not the long night. Because in a land of winter, if they would have came and had a long night, it wouldn't have lasted one night. Not to mention, there was no Azor Ahai. Azor Ahai did not show up with a flaming sword. Okay, none of that happened. All the things we expected to happen for the long night never happened. The long night lasts for years. As Old Nan says, some people live and die in the cold, where it's always night. It can last for 10 years plus. This lasted for only one night, meaning the others did not come to Winterfell. Another reason why the Night King is not an other is because you never saw all of what the others use in battle. You didn't see any werewolf spiders, big as hounds. You didn't see all of that. You saw one giant. You didn't see all kind of creatures come out of nowhere. You saw people. And you saw a horse. The horses. That's it. This was not the others' army. This was simply a separate agenda from a copycat, an amalgamation of the others. That's what this was. This was a grudge. Okay, now, speaking of the others, we already know the others have their own agenda, correct? But is the others' agenda to wipe out humanity? No. They're a species. And they're controlled by the gods of their world. The weirwood trees and all that other stuff, those are all gods. The Isle of Faces, there's the only reason why there's only so many people ever been to the Isle of Faces, because they're controlled by their gods. And their gods are going to try to keep things on an even keel. Can the others come and slaughter everybody? Probably. And if they ever tried, then you're going to have a hero show up and stop them. As the legend says, the reason why the legend is there is simply because if it ever goes down like that, the others know that they will be stopped because they were stopped before. Okay? They went, they ransacked, they killed, then they were stopped. All right, so what is the others' agenda? The others had an agenda to mate with humans and be amongst them. Right? I think that agenda is still in full effect. And here's what I think is going on. Why did this White Walker, when they first came to the wall and Sam was trapped outside the wall, when Ed and Pip and Ren, and they left him, and he said, "You left me," and they said, "Aye, we left you. You're fat and you're slow." But when they left him, he cowered behind a rock, and this guy, who's turned by the Night King, why did he look at him and didn't kill him? And why did no other white have any interest in him, but yet they were killing other people around him? Why? Why didn't you kill Samwell? Why didn't you kill Samwell Tarly? Here's what I think. Here's what I think. This is kind of off, but here's what I think. Samwell Tarly is what? He's a Tarly of Horn Hill, right? Daddy and all that other stuff, brother Dickon, dead. But now Samwell Tarly is the Lord of Horn Hill. What else is Samwell Tarly? Samwell Tarly is, for one, he's a nice brother. That's for one. And for two, Samwell Tarly has been to the Citadel. All right? Follow me now. 3, Samwell Tarly is pretty much married to Gilly. Gilly and her children are related to him. Gilly And this guy right here, this white, what is it? Probably brother and sister or some weird relationship. But Gilly's child, Little Sam, is also related to him. So he's like, you're my family. I'm not going to touch you, and no other white will. Because my sister, aunt, whatever, is your woman. Remember, she was like, you're a wizard. But he looked right at him in this scene right here. He looked right at Sam. And he was like, he's one of us. Okay, so bust the skid out. Bust it. Follow me. Just follow me. So Samwell of Horn Hill, Lord of Horn Hill now. Samwell, one of the Nice Watch now. Okay, Samwell, one of the only people who's ever been in the Citadel and part of the Citadel, has what that hardly any other person has: information. Samwell's ability to read and comprehend and turn that into action was demonstrated when he saved Ser Jorah Mormont. Because remember, the other people at the Citadel knew how to fix Grayscale, but they wouldn't. Samwell did. Follow me. So now he has Little Sam, his adopted son, correct? And they're leaving. So they're probably going back to Horn Hill. All right? Because Sam knows that his father and his brother are not there, so he's Lord of Horn Hill. Right? So after that, he's also, being that he's already been inducted into the Citadel, he's going to go to the Citadel. And he's going to, shoot, Samwell is a Lord and a Maester. He's the only Lord Maester there's ever been. And you can say, okay, all the other ones, Grand Maesters. No. Those guys don't own land. They don't own huge castles. None of the Maesters did. Sam's the only one, pretty much in Westeros history, that is a Lord Maester. Oh, you guys. And being that Sam is a Lord Maester, he has access to all the information that his enemies need. These people are not Sam's enemies. They're his relatives. These people are his enemies. These people are the original. These are copycats made for a mock war to look like them, but to actually get all the information that they need, just in case they want to attack again. Now they know how. Because guess who's going to be there? One of their relatives, Little Sam. And Gilly. And eventually Little Sam will grow up, and if he does, he's going to be the Lord of Horn Hill. There's going to be a white in Horn Hill. Hope you guys got all that. It's your boy Tone 202. The Battle for Winterfell was just pretty much a fake. It was a fake out. And this is why Brandon didn't care. Let me know what you think. I'm out.